Guten Tag. I am, well, let us not dwell on what I became. Today we speak of what I wished to be, an artist. Before the politics, before everything else, there was only the canvas and the dream. I applied twice to the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna. Twice they rejected me. They said my architectural drawings were acceptable, but my figures uninspired. Perhaps they were right, but let me show you something extraordinary. Masterpieces reimagined with their cities, where the art and the place become one.
Vincent van Gogh. Starry night merged with Amsterdam itself. Look at this. Those swirling, turbulent skies now dance above the canal houses. The cypress trees rise between Dutch gables, and that crescent moon illuminates the very streets where Vincent walked as a young man. I tried painting canal scenes once in Vienna. Mine looked like architectural surveys with water. Very straight lines, very orderly. Vincent takes Amsterdam and makes it move, makes it breathe with emotion. The city becomes his feeling. My cities were just cities. Perhaps this was my first mistake. I never understood that a place could be a state of mind.
Claude Monet, Impression Sunrise. Now rising over Paris itself, the Seine, the industrial port, the hazy morning light, all captured in those loose, dancing brushstrokes. Paris waking up, painted not as it is, but as it feels at dawn. I painted the Vienna Opera House 17 times. Every column perfect, every detail correct. They looked like blueprints. Monet paints Paris as a dream dissolving into morning. A few strokes of orange, some purple shadows, and you can feel the fog, smell the river, hear the city stirring. Precision versus poetry. I chose the wrong one.
Pablo Picasso. Barcelona shattered into cubist fragments. Sagrada Familia, Las Ramblas, Gothic Quarter, all broken apart and reassembled. You see the street from above, from the side, from memory, all at once. I understood perspective. I studied it. 1-point, 2-point, 3-point perspective. I mastered them all. And here is Picasso saying all the points, every perspective, simultaneously. And it works. Barcelona becomes timeless this way, past and present and future occupying the same space. My paintings existed only in one frozen moment. Picasso's exists in all moments. The Academy would have loved this. My perfectly rendered buildings? Adequate.
Salvador Dalí, Seville melting under the Andalusian sun. The Girolda Tower droops like warm cheese. The Plaza de España bends in impossible ways. Even time itself melts in the afternoon heat, those famous clocks dripping over orange trees. I attempted something dreamlike once. Painted the Hofburg Palace with wings growing from its walls. My roommate said, "Adolf, did you drop the canvas?" But Dalí, he makes the impossible feel inevitable. Of course Seville would melt. Have you been there in July? It is a rational response to that heat. He understood that cities are not just buildings, they are fever dreams in stone. Paolo Veronese, the wedding at Cana, staged in Venice itself. Now we are talking.
Look at this, that magnificent wedding feast with 100 figures now set against Venetian palazzos and canals. The architecture, the scale, the grandeur. This is what I wanted to create. Cities as stages for human drama. Venice, with all its marble and water and light, hosting this biblical feast. It is perfect. Veronese understood composition, perspective, architectural detail, and he filled it with life. I had the buildings, but forgot to add the humans who matter. What good is a beautiful stage if the play never begins?
Leonardo da Vinci, the Battle of Anghiari exploding through Florence. The lost masterpiece recreated. Horses rearing between Renaissance palazzos, soldiers fighting in the Piazza della Signoria, the fury of battle consuming the cradle of the Renaissance itself. You see what he does? The violence, the power, the raw energy, all contained within perfect compositional structure. The chaos has architecture. Even Leonardo had failures. This original painting technique didn't work. The masterpiece destroyed. But the idea survived. And now here it is, Florence itself becoming the battlefield. Perhaps art is not about the object surviving. It is about the vision living on.
Edvard Munch, the scream, echoing across Oslo's fjords. Ah, this I understand completely. That figure on the bridge, hands to face, the world itself warping with anxiety, and now the entire landscape joins the scream. The fjords twist, the sky bleeds red and orange, even the water shares the terror. I felt this when I got my second rejection letter. That moment when your entire world becomes your failure, when the city itself seems to mock you. Munch painted Oslo as anguish made visible, and somehow showing that darkness made him immortal. I tried to paint only beautiful things. Perhaps that was another mistake.
Johannes Vermeer, girl with a pearl earring, gazing across the Dutch countryside. Ah, such light! That pearl catches every photon, and now that same luminous quality fills an entire Dutch landscape. The polders, the windmills, the soft northern sky. Vermeer painted 20 meters of space and made it feel infinite through light alone. I painted entire city blocks and made them feel cramped. You see, light is not a thing, it is a feeling. The way it touches her face, her pearl, and now these Dutch fields, it is all emotion made visible. I could paint what light looked like. Vermeer painted what light felt like. The Academy saw this. They were not cruel, only accurate.
Michelangelo, the creation of Adam spanning the Italian heavens. Oh, the finger of God reaching toward Adam, but now painted across the entire sky above Italy. From Rome to Florence to Venice, that divine touch illuminates the Renaissance landscape. 4 years on its back to paint the Sistine Chapel. Imagine the suffering to paint this across the sky itself. This is what I could never grasp. The masters suffered for their vision. Michelangelo's body was destroyed by his art. His back never straightened again after the Sistine ceiling. I wanted art to be my escape from suffering, not its source. You cannot create the divine without sacrifice. This is what the Academy couldn't tell me. Not, your work lacks soul, but, are you willing to bleed for this?
Grant Wood, American Gothic, planted in the Iowa heartland.
The farmer and his daughter, that pitchfork, that stern Presbyterian faces, now part of the rolling farmland itself. The Gothic window echoed in barn shapes, the straight furrows matching their rigid posture. Wood understood something I missed, that ordinary people and ordinary places are worthy subjects. Not just grand opera houses and imperial palaces, but farmhouses and farmers. The architecture here is simple. The people are plain. And yet, it is monumental. He made the common into the iconic. I only painted what I thought was important. Palaces, churches, state buildings. I never saw that a farmhouse could contain just as much meaning. Perhaps the Academy saw my snobbery before I did.
Rembrandt van Rijn, The Night Watch, patrolling Amsterdam's Museum Square at night. Master of shadow and light. Look, those militia soldiers now patrol the actual Dutch streets, emerging from darkness into golden pools of torchlight. Every cobblestone illuminated with purpose. Every face distinct, even in shadow. This is what I studied. Chiaroscuro, the architecture of light, the way shadow gives weight to illumination. I understood it technically, but Rembrandt, he makes you feel the night, hear the footsteps echoing on wet stones, sense the danger and duty of the watch. I painted light on buildings. He painted the soul of darkness and light in combat. Knowledge without feeling, my eternal curse.
Sandro Botticelli, The Birth of Venus, rising from the Arno River itself. She emerges not from mythology, but from Florence, the Renaissance made flesh, born from the very waters that fed the city's greatness. The Ponte Vecchio in the background, Venus's flowing hair merging with river currents. This is transcendence. Venus is not in Florence, she is Florence. The city becomes divine beauty, ideal form, perfection made visible. I painted the Vienna State Opera 17 times, always accurate, always lifeless. I never realized. A city is not buildings, it is a spirit. Botticelli knew this. Venus is Florence's soul given form. I painted shells. The masters painted pearls. So, 13 masterpieces merged with 13 cities, art and place becoming inseparable. You see what these masters understood? A city is not just architecture. It is memory, emotion, time itself layered in stone and water and light. Van Gogh's Amsterdam feels like restlessness. Monet's Paris feels like awakening. Munch's Oslo feels like existential terror. Each city becomes a state of being. Thank you. Now, if you will excuse me, I have some postcards to paint. Very straight lines, very accurate, very safe.